promised we would set aside some time for this, and let's do it now, because here is yet another mock draft. We have an alternating mock draft that just came out this morning, and it's got all of our draft experts. It's Mel, and it's Matt Miller, and Jordan Reed, and Young Fielding Yates, and they took turns making their picks. And once again, the most important thing I want you to see is the second name on your list. They have Ty Simpson falling to the second round. The New York Jets have 2 first-round picks, one of them at 16 overall, and then they have the first pick of the second round, and that is yet another mock. Matt Miller did one himself last week that showed Ty Simpson falling to the second round. Now, there's been so much conversation about Ty. Jordan, you were involved in it with how much you like him, and Dan Orlovsky obviously has said repeatedly how high he is on Ty Simpson. But now we're starting to see these mocks moving in the other direction. What can you tell us about what you're hearing about Ty Simpson's place in this round one?
Here's the thing. I think there are some people that really like Ty Simpson in this draft, and all it takes is one. And we heard similar questions last year about Shedeur Sanders when he was projected by many people to be a top 10 pick, first round pick, and didn't wind up going until day 3.
Right.
Now we're in a situation with Ty Simpson. He's not going to fall like that. We don't expect that to be the case at all. Most people believe he's a first-round talent. Okay, let's go through the potential spots and figure out if we could find a landing spot. He's not going to go in the top 10. We do not believe he's going to the Jets at 16.
Okay, that's a big one because we know the Jets met with him.
Do not believe he's going 16th to the Jets. Don't believe he's going to Pittsburgh at 21. The Rams are somewhere in there. A lot of people thought the Rams would be there. Well, guess what? The Rams now might need a wide receiver as well with Puka in rehab. And I have never sensed that he was going to the Rams in round 1 anyway.
Okay.
We'll see how that plays out.
Right.
I don't think he's going to Cleveland at 24. I don't think he's going to Miami at 30. So where is he going in the first round? It may just be that we get a scenario like last year where the Giants traded up for Jackson Dart at 25, I believe, and took him there. There may be a team that we don't know right now. It could be any one of those teams that sees the value for Ty Simpson in the back half of the first round, jumps up and takes him. But it is hard to pinpoint the spot today with a team in the first round. You could say, this is where I think is a landing spot for Ty Simpson.
And I want to tell you again, I'm all I am is an aggregator of information about the draft. I'm not an expert in any part of it, but I'm hearing that from everybody. What you just said, I'm hearing from everybody is, I think he's going to go in the first round, but I can't figure out where, and so maybe it is someone that winds up trading in. So let me get my quarterbacks in on this. Again, Jordan, you made your case on this last week. You believe Ty Simpson is worthy of being a first-round pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, and I think the Jets would be stupid to pass on him twice in the top 16, and I think they'd be stupid with that 33rd overall pick to not trade back in eventually to the first round to take him for many reasons, because of the fifth-year option being one of them. But here's the psychology behind this that I think is interesting. When you get a quarterback that you know is going to go in the top 10, which is not Ty, a lot of teams that maybe don't want him are going to say they really like him to kind of amp up the ability to trade with someone that doesn't want to miss on him. When you got a quarterback that has the potential to slip to the teens, to the 20s, to the second round, if teams like him, they're not going to say anything because they want him to fall. So I think there's a little bit of psychology with where is he going to go. But Ty Simpson is a first-round quarterback. Ty Simpson is a guy that's a franchise quarterback. He has elite traits, anticipation, pocket presence, suddenness. He's got great arm talent. One body of work means maybe he sits for a half a year or a year, could be the best case scenario, but he is a guy that will be a franchise quarterback, and I don't see any way he gets out of the first round. Someone's going to jump back into it at worst in the 20s to take him.
As I'm listening to this and as I'm thinking about what everybody's saying, it all of a sudden takes me back to 2024 when nobody or very few people had Bo Nix going in the first round, and Denver was sitting there the entire time planning to take Bo Nix. But Denver never advertised, we love Bo Nix, we're taking him. You didn't hear that at all, but he was never going to get past Denver's turn in the first round.
Go ahead, Jordan.
And I'm going to let Tim jump in real quick. Just one more thing. I think thinking you are waiting for the class next year is a massive mistake. We should have learned that about this class. Cade Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Aller, all guys that were like first rounders, top 10. Where are they now? I mean, this class got really thin, and it was supposed to be the best class. Next year could be the very same case. It might end up being one or two that are good of the 10 that are supposed to be amazing next year. A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush, and I think someone's going to figure that out in the first round.
And I will add to what Jordan said a moment ago. The Jets have the 33rd pick and the 44th pick in this year's draft. They have two early second-rounders, so they could package those and move, into the 20s somewhere if they wanted. Final word on this, Tim Hasselbeck.
Well, Jordan's right about waiting. The reason everyone looks like a good prospect next year is they haven't been through the ringer of the evaluation or playing a college football season with the high expectations. And so, we see it every year where a class looks good and then you get there. I would say this, and this is kind of the point for me. The difference between Bo Nix and Ty Simpson is Bo Nix played a massive amount of football. There's a long history of guys that did not play, did not have a ton of college starts. Anthony Richardson, Trey Lance, Mark Sanchez, Mitch Trubisky. So there's a lot of risk when you draft somebody without a huge sample size in the first round. Now, saying that, because you don't have the huge sample size, I think you absolutely need the fifth-year option. So if you have an evaluation that you think he's a first-round draft pick, but teams don't need him, and so you get to the early, you're kind of projecting to the early second round, and he's going to be available. I think at that point, there's not so much value in the difference between pick 40 and pick 32 that it's not worth giving that ammunition up to go get Ty Simpson so that you have some runway to develop him because he's only got 15 college starts.
That's a very interesting point to make here. Bo Nix actually had started the most games of any quarterback in college history when he came out of school, and Ty Simpson has started fifth. Never too early to look ahead to Arch's March. I want you to hear what Steve Sarkisian, the coach of Texas, had to say about his quarterback last year and how he dealt with all the criticism and expectations. He said, quote, 99% of kids would have melted last year if they had to endure what he endured, and all Arch did was get stronger. So, Jordan, I have a question for you. If Arch Manning was in this draft, I think he made 1,000% the right decision not to come out and stay in school, particularly in this day and age where players can make so much money in college. But even if they didn't, his uncle did it once upon a time. He made the right decision. But if he were in this draft class right now, where would he go?
Yeah, I think he'd be QB3. Look, I think Arch has a ton of upside, and I've broken down from week 0 to the end of the season. I don't know if anybody made more strides, both mechanically with his footwork, improving his accuracy. I mean, it was night and day from that Ohio State game to the Texas A&M game at the end of the year. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the country in the last month of the year. Here's the thing, though. I'm with you. He absolutely needed to come back to school because what pops up on tape is there's still a little bit of inconsistency to how the ball comes out of his hands, how it spins, the accuracy at times, the velocity. And does he carry the velocity consistently? That all has to do with footwork. So as much as he made some huge strides, and there's a ton of upside, both next year at Texas with Cam Coleman, he's going to have a monster year. But in the NFL, I think he still has some consistency issues to improve with accuracy, velocity, and he'll get there. He's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country this year, but I think he would be 3 behind Mendoza and Simpson.
I have no, first and foremost, I defer to your expertise when it comes to evaluating the quarterbacks more than anything else. And I cannot prove what I'm about to say because it didn't happen, and so we will never know. But it is my opinion, Tim, that if Arch Manning were in this draft